Good day everyone, we are from Tutorial 3 Group 3. Today, we are going to discuss about Chapter 11, which is Motivating and Rewarding Employees. Following slides are the details of my team members. Hi everyone, I'm Yunju. Today, I'm going to explain about this question. Most of us have to work for a living. It's a central part for our life. So, why do managers still have to worry so much about employee motivation? The short answer is, having a job doesn't mean someone is motivated to help the company succeed. Let me explain why this gap exists and what manager must do to close it. Firstly, high effort does not equal to high performance. High effort without clear managerial direction is useless to the organization. The effort can be energetic but misdirected, busy but not productive. Hence, according to goal-setting theory, managers must set specific and challenging goals as motivation to channel their energy productively. Second, managers must align between individual and organizational goals. Employees tend to work for themselves, but not the organization. Therefore, managers must bridge the gap between what employees want and what the organization actually needs. For instance, managers should link organizational performance to employees' rewards and personal accomplishment they actually value, whether that's a bonus, recognition, or career growth, as the motivation for employees. In order to make it clear when the organization succeeds, they personally get benefit too. Lastly is to reduce the rate of turnover. If employees are dissatisfied with hygiene factors like salary, work condition, or policies, they will likely to leave. To build real loyalty, managers must provide motivators such as recognition, responsibilities, achievement, and meaningful work. Managers must also ensure fairness that explained in equity theory, so employees feel valued and treated justly compared to their peers. Finally, let's look at the real-world difference between motivated and unmotivated employees. In terms of effort and performance, a motivated employee channels high intensity toward their work. When effort channeled to organizational goals, it shows strong and high performance. While an unmotivated employee just put in time but not patient, their energy is misguided. It shows low performance that just reach minimum requirements. Next, in terms of turnover, the motivated employee stays show low rate of turnover because they feel responsible and valued to their work. However, the unmotivated employee is always looking for other career opportunities that show high rate of turnover. They are the first to leave when something better comes along. And lastly, in alignment with organizational goals. A motivated employee sees company goals as personal challenge and pathways to their own achievement, while an unmotivated employee sees them as external demand that just show more work imposed by management. To sum up, managers worry about motivation because performance is a choice, not an automatic result of employees. By setting clear goals, ensuring fairness, providing meaningful work, and linking reward to what employees value, managers turn routine jobs into engaged, high-performance roles to the company. That's all from me, thank you, and I would like to pass the floor to my teammate Joanne.
Thank you, Anju. And my name is Joanne Chu Ting. So right now, I'll be moving on to question 11.2, which is what is motivation, and explain the three key elements of motivation. Motivation is a fundamental concept in the study of management and human behavior. It refers to the psychological processes that stimulate, guide, and maintain human actions toward the achievement of specific goals. In both personal and organizational contexts, motivation explains why individuals choose certain behaviors, how much effort they are willing to exert, and how long they are able to sustain their effort. Understanding motivation is essential because it directly influences performance, commitment, and overall effectiveness. In academic terms, motivation consists of three core elements: energy, direction, and persistence. These elements work together to produce goal-directed behavior. The first element, energy, represents the intensity or strength of an individual's effort. It reflects how hard a person is willing to work to achieve a goal. High energy is shown through enthusiasm, diligence, and a willingness to invest physical or mental effort. For example, an employee who consistently works hard, volunteers for additional tasks, and actively seek improvement demonstrate a high level of motivation and energy. Without sufficient energy, individuals may understand their responsibility but fail to act effectively. The second element is direction, which refers to the orientation of effort toward a particular goal. Direction ensures that energy is not applied randomly, but is focuses on activities that contribute to desired outcome. In organizational setting, direction is closely linked to goal clarity. When goals are clear, individuals are more likely to engage in behaviors that support organizational objectives. For instance, a clearly defined sales target helps employees prioritize tasks that directly increase sales performance rather than unrelated activities. The third element of motivation is persistence, which refers to the duration of effort over time. Persistence reflects an individual's ability to continue contribute towards a goal despite difficulties, setback, or slow progress. Many meaningful goals require sustained effort rather than immediate result. An employee who continues working toward performance target even after facing rejection or failure demonstrates persistence. This element highlights that motivation is not only about initiating action, but also about maintaining commitment until the goal is achieved. Together, energy, direction, and persistence provide a comprehensive explanation of how motivation operated by activating behavior, guiding effort, and sustaining actions over. Let's continue to question 11.3. Contrast lower order and higher order needs in Maslow's needs hierarchy. First, let's take a look at what is Maslow's needs hierarchy. Maslow's needs hierarchy is a psychological theory proposed by Abraham Maslow, organizing human needs into 5-level pyramids representing a hierarchy of motivation. I'll explain the key differences between lower order needs, also known as deficiency needs, and higher order needs, referred to as growth needs, as outlined in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Lower order needs consist of the first two levels of the hierarchy: psychological needs and safety needs. These are the most basic needs because they are essential for survival and physical security. In contrast, higher order needs include love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. These focus on psychological development, personal fulfillment, and reaching one's full potential. The main purpose of lower order needs is survival and stability. They aim to reduce discomfort and protect individuals from danger, such as through access to food, shelter, and a safe environment. Higher order needs, on the other hand, focus on growth and fulfillment. They motivate individuals to form meaningful relationships, build self-esteem, and develop a strong sense of identity. In terms of motivation, lower order needs are driven by deficiency motivation, or D needs. This motivation arises when something essential is lacking, pushing individuals to eliminate discomfort. Higher order needs are driven by growth motivation, or B needs, where individuals are motivated by the desire to improve, grow, and gain satisfaction rather than simply reduce pain. Another key difference lies in how these needs are fulfilled. Lower order needs depend largely on external factors such as income, housing, and job security. Without these, basic needs cannot be met. In contrast, higher order needs are fulfilled mainly through internal and social factors, including self-worth, personal value, and meaningful relationships. Besides that, the effect of fulfillment also differ. When lower order needs are satisfied, individuals experience stability and this need lost their motivating power. However, fulfilling higher order needs increases motivations, well-being, and a sense of purpose. If unmet, lower order needs can cause stress, anxiety, and an intense focus on survival, making it difficult to pursue higher goals. Unmet higher order needs may lead to loneliness, low self-esteem, and a lack of direction even when basic needs are met. Maslow emphasized that lower order needs must be largely satisfied before higher order needs become important motivators. Finally, lower order needs are concrete and finite, while higher order needs are abstract and ongoing. continuing to evolve throughout life. In conclusion, the contrast between lower order and higher order needs highlight the progressions of human motivation from basic survival to personal growth. While lower order needs provide a necessary foundation for stability, higher order needs need drive individuals towards fulfillment, meaning and long-term development. Understanding this distinction is essential for effectively motivating individuals, particularly in organizational and marginal contexts. And that's all from me. I'll pass the floor to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. And now I will continue to the question 11 for what role would money play in a hierarchy of needs theory, two-factor theory, equity theory, expectancy theory, and motivating employees with a high need of achievement? Firstly, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, money mainly helps to satisfy lower level needs. It is important for meeting physiological needs, such as food and shelter, and safety needs, such as financial security and stability. However, once these basic needs are met, money becomes less effective as a motivator. At higher levels, employees are more motivated by esteem, recognition, and self-fulfillment rather than by salary alone. And next, according to Herzberg's two-factor theory, money is considered a hygiene factor, not a motivator. This means that low or unfair pay will cause us dissatisfaction, but adequate pay does not necessarily motivate employees to work harder. In other words, money prevents dissatisfaction, but true motivation comes from factors like achievement, recognition, and job satisfaction. And now, let us continue to the third theory, which is the equity theory. In equity theory, money plays an important role as an outcome. Employees compare their pay and rewards with their effort and contributions and also with what others receive. If employees feel underpaid compared to others, they may become dissatisfied, reduce effort, or even leave the organization. But when employees perceive fairness, motivation is maintained. For the expectancy theory, money motivates employees only under certain conditions. First, employees must believe that their effort will lead to good performance. Second, they must believe that good performance will lead to higher pay. And finally, the pay must be something they personally value. If any of these links are missing, money will not be an effective motivator. For employees with a high need of achievement, money is not the main motivator. They are more motivated by challenging goals, personal responsibility, feedback, and a sense of achievement. Money only works as a form of recognition of feedback rather than as the primary incentive. In conclusion, money does not motivate employees, but its effectiveness depends on the motivation theory and the individual. It is most powerful when linked to fairness, performance, and personal value, and least effective when used alone without recognition or growth opportunities. Let us continue to the question 11.5. What are some of the possible consequences of employees perceiving an inequity between their inputs and outcomes and those of others? Perceived inequity occurs when employees believe that the effort, skills, and time they contribute are not fairly rewarded compared to others. When this happens, employees feel uncomfortable and are motivated to restore fairness. And this can lead to several possible consequences. Firstly, lower productivity. Employees may intentionally reduce their effort because they feel that working harder is not worthwhile if rewards are unfair. So, they slow down to match what they believe is fair treatment. Secondly, higher productivity. Some employees respond by increasing their effort. They may believe that by working harder or performing better, they can justify their rewards or improve their outcomes. Thirdly, reduced quality of output. Employees may continue working but put in minimal effort. This results in lower quality work as they no longer feel motivated to maintain high standards. Fourthly, improved quality of output.
Alternatively, employees may increase the quality of their work to demonstrate their value and prove that they deserve better recognition or rewards. And next, increase absenteeism. Employees may begin to avoid working by taking more sick leave or being absent. This behavior reflects dissatisfaction and is a way to escape the unfair situation. And lastly, voluntary resignation. If inequity continues and employees feel it cannot be resolved, they may choose to leave the organization entirely to seek fairer treatment elsewhere. And in conclusion, when employees perceive unfairness, they attempt to restore equity by changing their effort, behavior, or by leaving the organization.
Thank you, Jinan. Now I'll present the case summary application 1, and the topic is the real living wage. This case examines why some organizations choose to pay their employees more than legal minimum wage and whether these decisions benefit both employees and employers. First, the United Kingdom introduced the national minimum wage in 1999. The end of these policies was to ensure that all workers receive a basic level of income, regardless of their job type or the size of the organization. However, meeting the legal minimum wage doesn't always mean that workers can afford their real living costs. As a result, the Living Wage campaign was launched in 2001 to promote wages that reflect actual living expenses such as food, housing, and daily necessities. Then, in 2016, the UK government introduced the national living wage for workers aged 25 and above, intending to further improve living standards. Next, the case raises an important question. Why do some organizations choose to pay more than what the law requires? One key reason is the influence of the Living Wage Foundation, which encourages employers to adopt fairer wages that allow employees to live with dignity rather than simply surviving. By 2019, more than 4,700 employers had become accredited living wage employers, including many large and well-known organizations. For example, one organization discussed in the case is IKEA UK. In 2016, IKEA increased wages for over 7,300 employees, according to the company. This decision supported business growth, improved employee motivation, and reduced staff turnover. Employees also reported positive changes in their personal life, such as being able to pay bills and apply for mortgages. Another example is Celsius Football Club, which adopted the living wage in 2014. Importantly, this policy applied not only to direct employees, but also to contractors. This showed the organization's commitment to fairness and social responsibility. As a result, research conducted by the Living Wage Foundation shows several positive outcomes. Many employers experience improvements in recruitment and employee retention. In addition, employees show higher motivation and commitment, while organizations benefit from a stronger public reputation. Finally, this case demonstrates that paying a real living wage is both an ethical and a strategic decision. It improves employees' quality of life while helping organizations enhance performance, loyalty, and reputation. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Yiting. My name is Yap Hui Ling, matrix number 24229441. Next, I will discuss whether this case supports the myth at the beginning of the chapter. Before answering that, let's see what's the myth. The myth says that motivation is all about show me the money. The textbook highlights a common management myth. Motivation is mainly about money. Many managers assume that higher pay automatically leads to higher motivation. However, management reality suggests that motivation is multidimensional and that one size does not fit all. Effective motivation depends on understanding employees' broader psychological and social needs. Using the living wage case, I will evaluate whether this case supports the myth that motivation comes only from monetary rewards, and then explain what other factors contribute to increased motivation. So, does the living wage case support the myth that money is the main motivator? I will argue no, it does not. If money alone motivated employees, then paying the legal minimum wage would be sufficient. However, the case shows that organizations such as IKEA, Chelsea FC, Oxfam, and Nestle voluntarily chose to pay above the legal requirement. These organizations were not simply increasing pay to comply with the law. Instead, they aim to improve employee commitment, reduce staff turnover, and enhance organization reputation. Research by the Living Wage Foundation support this, showing improvements in recruitment, retention, and motivation, as well as 40% reduction in staff turnover in Brodop. This suggests that while pay matters, motivation in this case was not driven by money alone. Instead, higher pay acted as a foundation that enabled deeper motivation outcomes. Therefore, the case clearly does not support the myth that motivation is only about financial rewards. Next, let's move on to the motivational factors. So, if motivation isn't just about money, the next question is, what else caused motivation to increase? So, do you think that the reported increase in motivation has to do with something apart from just the extra money? Yes. The reported increase in motivation is clearly driven by factors beyond the additional pay itself, such as feeling valued and respected, organizational pride, fair treatment, and positive mental well-being. While the living wage provided financial security, the case shows that motivation increased mainly because of the psychological and social outcomes created by paying above legal minimum. First, employees felt valued and respected. Companies like IKEA and Chelsea SC chose to pay more than legally required, signaling recognition of employees' contributions rather than mere compliance. Second, fair treatment played an important role. Chelsea FC extended the living wage to contracted workers, reducing inequality and strengthening perceptions of fairness, which increased commitment. Third, employees developed organizational pride and ethical identity. Organizations such as Oxfam and Nestle framed the living wage as the right thing to do. Working for ethical employers enhanced loyalty and willingness to go beyond basic job requirements. Finally, the living wage reduced financial stress, improving mental well-being. Employees could focus more effectively on their work instead of worrying about basic survival needs. These outcomes are supported by motivation theories from Chapter 11. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the living wage helps satisfy safety needs, such as financial security. Once these needs are met, employees can focus on higher-level needs like esteem, increasing motivation. Husband's two-factor theory explains that pay is a hygiene factor. While it prevents dissatisfaction, motivation increased because the living wage was perceived as recognition, making employees feel valued. Finally, equity theory suggests that when rewards are perceived as fair, trust and commitment increase, especially when wages are extended to all workers. Thank you for listening. That's all from me, and now I will pass to my teammate.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Jing, and I will be answering question 1113, which is, would these benefits to the organization be seen if middle or higher wage rates had been increased? In my opinion, no. These benefits to the organization may not necessarily be seen if middle or higher wage rates had been increased. The benefits spoken of in the case includes increased employee motivation, increased commitment, improvements in recruitment and retention, and an enhanced business reputation. The wage increase in the case targeted workers who are on lower pay, thus the improvement in their lives may have been more significant as compared to increasing the wages of employees receiving medium to higher wages. Middle and higher wage employees already earn enough to meet their basic needs, and most probably fulfill all the needs based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. As a result, raising their wages may not produce such dramatic improvements in their lives, such as increased motivation or commitment. However, an increase in middle and higher wage rates may still contribute to the reputation of the business. It will help the business be well known for offering high salaries and continuous wage increments, which would improve its recruitment ability. Next, I will be answering question 1114, which is, do you see any long-term issues with this increase in wage levels? Yes, there are sure to be potential long-term issues that could come along as a result of the increase in wage levels. I will first go through the negative long-term effects. The increase in wage levels would lead to increased costs for businesses. Higher wage rates could increase overall labor costs and affect the profitability of the business. As a result, businesses that can't keep up may have to resort to raising their prices, cutting labor, or reducing other costs. However, if the wage increase leads to increased employee productivity, it could increase the overall revenue of the business. In this case, profitability of the business may remain unaffected and may even improve. Next, there may be reduction in competitiveness if the cost of a business rises faster than its productivity or sales. This could lead to the business struggling to compete with lower-cost firms. Low-cost firms may offer lower prices and thus put the business at a disadvantage given their increase in wages and low sales. Now, I will be going through the positive long-term effects as obtained from the passage. First, there will be lower staff turnover within the business. As employees earn enough to live comfortably and satisfy their needs, they are less likely to leave their jobs. Lower staff turnover would allow the business to save on recruiting and training costs, benefiting the business in the long run. Next, the company's reputation will be enhanced. A strong reputation can increase customer trust and public support. As a result, it would make it easier for the business to recruit talents when needed, as they have a good reputation. This would also boost customer loyalty, thus increasing their sales and brand awareness over time. That will be all from me. Thank you.
For this case application, I'll be discussing the question, how much vacation time is too much vacation time, with a focus on unlimited vacation policies and their implications. To begin, it is important to understand that unlimited vacation policies are actually quite rare. Despite being adopted by high-profile companies such as Netflix or LinkedIn, only about 2% of companies in the US offer this kind of policy. This shows that while the idea sounds attractive, it is far from being a standard practice. Interestingly, even under traditional vacation policies, many employees do not fully utilize their entitled leave. On average, Americans take only 16.8 out of 22.6 available vacation days, and this suggests that the issue may not be the number of days offered, but rather employees' comfort level in taking time off. Under unlimited vacation policies, this hesitation can become even stronger. Employees often feel unsure about how much time is acceptable to take, and they may fear being judged as uncommitted or unproductive. As a result, the lack of clear boundaries can actually discourage employees from taking leave. From the employer's perspective, one key reason companies adopt unlimited vacation policy is to attract top talent. In highly competitive job markets, offering flexible time off can make a company more appealing to skilled professionals. However, this policy also raises concerns for managers. Without formal rules, managers may struggle with scheduling, ensuring fairness, and deciding what counts as reasonable amount of vacation time. And this can lead to inconsistency and tension within teams. There are also employee equity concerns. Long tenure employees may feel that the policy is unfair when new hires receive the same level of vacation flexibility without having to earn it throughout the years of service. Another common complaint is the loss of vacation accrual. Under unlimited vacation policies, employees typically lose the ability to cash out unused vacation days, which some see as a loss of financial benefit. To address these concerns, some companies have taken proactive steps. For example, companies like Kronos provide manager training, strong HR support, and reinvest savings from unused vacation payouts into other benefits such as children assistance or students loan support. When implemented carefully, unlimited vacation policies can offer a recruitment advantage, especially in tight labor markets. However, success depends heavily on clear communication, consistent management practices, and sensitivity to employees' perception. So, in conclusion, unlimited vacation time is not necessarily about offering more time off, but about how the policy is designed, communicated, and managed. Without thoughtful implementation, it may create uncertainty and inequity rather than the flexibility it promises. Thank you.
Let's continue with question 15. What are the pros and cons of unlimited vacation policies for both employees and organizations? First, let's look at the pros for employees. Reduced stress. Unlimited vacation gives employees more control over their schedules. They can take time off whenever they need it, which helps reduce stress and improve overall well-being. Next point is flexibility to handle unexpected situations. Employees can respond to emergencies such as family issues or take time off for mental health. This is much more convenient than being limited by a fixed number of vacation days. However, the cause for employees is perceived unfairness. Some long-term employees may feel it is unfair when new employees take the same amount of vacation. This can create tension and may affect teamwork. Next cause for employees is no payout for unused vacation. With unlimited vacation, companies eliminate accrued vacation days. There is no payment for unused vacation after leaving the job. Now, let's look at the pros for organization. Attracting and retaining talent. Unlimited vacation is an appealing benefit, especially in competitive labor markets. It helps companies attract professional, highly skilled workers who want flexibility. Next pros for organization is cost savings. Since vacation days are no longer accumulated, companies do not need to pay for unused vacation when someone resigns. This reduces financial costs compared to traditional vacation systems. However, the cost for organization is increased managerial challenges. Managers may worry that employees could take excessive leave, making it difficult to plan work schedule. Moving on to the next point is perceived unfair among employees. Some employees may take many days off, while others take very few due to heavy workload. If not properly managed, such issues can harm teamwork and overall organizational culture. Move on to the next question is, why do you think some companies are moving to unlimited vacation policies? There are three main reasons. First, to attract skilled talent. Unlimited vacation helps companies stand out in competitive labor markets. Highly skilled professionals often value flexibility and work-life balance. So, this policy makes the company more attractive to top talent. Second is to improve job satisfaction. When employees feel trusted to manage their own time, they are usually more satisfied and motivated at work. Higher job satisfaction also reduces employee turnover, which means workers are less likely to leave the company. Third is to reduce company cost. With unlimited vacation, companies do not need to pay employees for unused accrued vacation when they leave. This helps reduce long-term financial liabilities compared to traditional leave systems. Next, is unlimited vacation feasible in small companies? The answer is no. There are three main reasons. First, small companies have limited manpower. Because there are fewer employees, it is difficult to handle the workload when multiple employees take leave at the same time. Second, fairness issues are harder to manage. Some employees may take more leave than others, which can create feelings of unfairness among staff. In small teams, these issues are more noticeable. Third, limited management resources can lead to confusion. Small companies often lack clear systems and policies to manage unlimited vacation effectively. This can result in misunderstandings and poor coordination. That's all from me. I will pass the floor to next person. Thank you.
Thank you, Ziyi. Hi everyone, I'm Violet. Now let's move on to the next question. What impact might managers or team leaders have on whether employees actually take advantage of an unlimited vacation policy? Generally, all team leaders and managers play a crucial role in determining whether the employees are actually comfortable with using the unlimited vacation policy. This is because without strong managerial support, the employees might feel less willing to use the policy due to ambiguity, cultural pressure, and also fear of negative perception. One of the key impacts that the managers or team leaders might have on employees is modeling behavior. Now, let's say if the manager of a company is someone who often takes vacation, focuses on work life balance, and encourages rest. The employees under this manager will definitely feel safer to use the policy compared to a manager who rarely takes leave and often expects constant availability. The employees under this manager will somehow feel stressed and will not be willing to use the policy as they take the actions of their manager negatively. Another key impact is approval and guidelines. Now, in order to use the unlimited vacation policy, approval is usually needed by the manager or team leader. Some employees might think that requesting to use the unlimited vacation policy can be seen as negotiating. Therefore, managers can create clarity by setting team guidelines such as no overlapping absences during critical periods or encourage early planning. This helps to reduce employees' hesitation due to uncertainty about the policy. Moving on to the next question. Do you think there might be general differences in how employees feel regarding the unlimited vacation? Explain your answer. Well, in my opinion, yes, there is definitely a difference because employees from different generations may view or use the unlimited vacation differently. Employees can be separated into two main generations. One is the older and one is the younger generation. So for older generation, it consists mainly of people from Gen X and also baby boomers. These people prefer traditional, fixed vacation structures mainly due to its clarity and also tangibility. However, employees of this generation may have concerns regarding the ambiguity, fairness, and also the perception of abusing the policy, which causes them to feel doubtful towards the unlimited vacation. Some employees may also feel pressured to take time off due to strong work ethic norms and the fear of appearing less committed to their work. On the other hand, younger generation consists of Gen Z and also millennials. These employees may view unlimited vacation as an attractive benefit and also a sign of trust, aligning with their expectations of result oriented work compared to fixed schedules. These employees prioritize work life balance, mental health, and experiences over fixed structures. Therefore, this group may also be more comfortable integrating work and personal life, making them more inclined to use flexible policies. That is all for me. Thank you.
Hi guys, I am Joffa Jones and I'll be answering the final and last and final discussion question, question 11. How might unlimited vacation affect employee motivation? In answering this question, discuss any relevant motivation theories, early and contemporary, as they relate to this organizational approach. Unlimited vacation can influence employee motivation in both positive and negative ways. On the positive side, it gives employees more autonomy and flexibility over their time. When employees are trusted to decide when to take a break, they often feel more responsible for managing their work and meeting deadlines. And this policy can also improve work-life balance by reducing stress and burnout, which helps employees stay focused and motivated and productive in the long run. Overall, unlimited vacation can make employees feel valued because it shows that the organization cares about not only their output but also their well-being. However, limited vacation can also create challenges. When there are no clear guidelines, employees may feel unsure about how much leave is actually acceptable. Some employees may worry that taking their time off could negatively affect their performance, evaluations, promotions, or how committed they appear to their managers. In addition, if managers themselves do not take vacation, it can send an unspoken signal to the employees that they should not take leave either, uh, which will reduce the effectiveness of the policy. Looking at this through motivation theories, expectancy theory suggests that employees will only be motivated if they believe that taking vacation will not reduce their performance. That good performance will still lead to reward, and that time off is still something they personally value. However, when if you look at from Herzberg's two-factor theory, unlimited vacation is considered a hygiene factor, meaning it can reduce the satisfaction, but it does not, um, by its own, strongly motivate employees. Real motivation still comes from intrinsic factors such as recognition, responsibility, and meaningful work. Equity theory explains that employees are naturally inclined to compare themselves with others. Let's say, for example, if one employee is seen taking more vacation than others, it may create perceptions of unfairness, which might ultimately lower morale and motivation. In conclusion, unlimited vacation can uh, motivate employees, but only when expectations are clear and policies applied fairly. Also, the managers, okay, they must actively support and model the behavior.
This is the end of our presentation. Feel free to reach us out if you have any question. Thank you.